Welcome to the Untrained Experts, a podcast for combat sports and fight news.
Welcome back to Untrained Experts, episode number 7. What's up, dude?
What's up? What's going on, guys? How y'all doing this lovely Tuesday? Even thing to talk about today.
Yeah. What you been up to, man?
Not a thing, bro. Not a thing at all. Just been chilling all day.
I hear that. So, we went and saw Avengers.
Thank God. Thank God we saw it, bro, when we did.
Yeah. Yeah, opening night.
Yeah, we went and saw opening night, Thursday. Solid movie.
Great movie.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. The A+ cinema score really, it's just well deserved. It has like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Really?
Still.
Dude, the movie was so good.
It was great, man. You know,
the way they portrayed everybody, I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you know, opening weekend, it made $1.2 billion.
It's insane. And the record was it Black Panther?
No, the record was Infinity War, which made $640 million.
My buddy said that the record was Black Panther. That Black Panther beat Infinity War, but I didn't think that was true.
No, the record before was $640 million, and that was set by Infinity War.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah,
that's crazy. They smashed it.
Doubled it.
Dude, how much money is Disney worth? Oh my God.
I'm not sure I want to know.
Dude, like they might be getting up there with Amazon.
Yeah.
They gotta be.
They might be beating Amazon at this point.
I'm not trying to spoil too much of the movie, but you know, for a couple minutes we might talk about the movies.
Yeah.
So anybody, skip ahead maybe 5 minutes in this pod if you don't want to hear anything about Avengers yet.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Dude, that movie was too good. I think they really outdid themselves on that, but.
Mm-hmm. It was a great ending to so many storylines and just wrapping everything up. Shit that's been going on for 11 years, like I've seen every one of the movies multiple times,
Me as well.
And then leading up to this is like it's crazy. Just everything that they did in this movie. It didn't feel like it was thrown together. Like, a lot of times you have a bunch of different stories going on.
It hasn't even been that long since Infinity War came out. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, they filmed them at the same time.
Yeah.
They filmed Infinity War and they filmed Endgame together. And then over the past year, they've just been going back and changing little stuff and adding stuff and maybe refilming some stuff that they decided to change or whatever. But the only person that got to read the whole script for Endgame was Robert Downey Jr.
Did he spoil some of it? I thought I heard that. I thought I heard somebody say that he spoiled some of it to somebody. I don't know. Maybe there's something else I heard.
It might have been like a joke thing. I know they've been, like, every time somebody goes on, like, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, he's, like, trying to get him to spoil stuff. He had Mark Ruffalo on there and put him on a lie detector test and started asking him questions, trying to get him to spoil the movie because he spoiled it before. He spoiled part of Endgame. Like, he was in an interview and he was sitting there with the dude, Don Cheadle, that plays War Machine.
Oh, yeah.
They're sitting there in this interview and somebody says something and he's like, "Oh, you should see this next one. Everybody dies." And Don Cheadle's like, "Dude."
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Being the guy that spoils that movie.
Yeah. He was like...
honestly, that I would honestly bring down sales.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Sales you lose just because people are like, damn.
I got spoiled on one little part of the movie on Instagram. I was scrolling through, ran across something, and I was like, damn it. So then, at that point, I avoided everything. Like, anytime I see anything related to Infinity War, Endgame, I just back out and leave. I didn't want to spoil anything because I wanted to wait. Anything. I wanted to go in with no spoilers,
But that movie really took me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't think that's the way it was going to go.
Yeah.
Half the stuff that happened in that movie, I was like, what? Where are they going with this? And then the way it all tied in was amazing. Like, they had to really... that was a long thought process right there.
Yeah.
Which, some of it was in the comics, I think.
Yeah. They
maybe not all of it, but...
From what I read, they did a lot of, like, nods to the comics. Like they mixed a bunch of different stuff together. Like there's the whole storyline itself wasn't directly from the comics, but they took little bits and pieces here and there and like added them to it as like a, to nod to the comics. Like so people who were that deep into it would realize that, and like there was some cool stuff in there that like everybody in my theater must have been a bunch of nerds because they were all cheering and clapping and stuff. And I was right there with them. I was clapping too. Like there's some cool points,
Well, I saw a couple guys with their girlfriends in there that weren't even like big fans, and you could tell those girls were just like, "Why are y'all so emotional? Why is this so crazy?" I'm like, we've been invested in this
for real,
this
dude.
whole time.
So many emotions, man. That movie has every emotion in it.
Yeah, but they'll get excited about Gossip Girl.
Yeah, for real. I was talking to my dad about it earlier because he hadn't seen it yet. And he's wanting to watch it. But he wanted me to spoil it for him. He wanted me to tell him everything about the movie. And I'm like, damn. So I've already been watching YouTube videos about it, and stuff. So I started telling him, and I was telling him some of the parts, and man, I was getting the chills. Just feel like I was remembering it like the way when I first watched it. And I was like, damn, I want to see it again.
I mean, dude, the battles in that movie and the way everything played out, the way they did time travel, like, crazy.
Yeah. It's such a long movie, but it doesn't feel like 3 hours.
Not at all.
Like, when you're sitting there, it goes by so fast because you're so invested in the movie. It doesn't feel like 3 hours at all. But it sucks if you have to get up and piss while you're watching it.
Dude, I pissed right before the movie, and I didn't have to until there was 30 minutes left.
Oh, that's the worst time to go.
No.
If you got to go within that last hour.
Did you?
See, I wasn't that lucky, man. We went before on the way there, and then we got there, and of course we got a drink, and I got Maddox some popcorn and stuff, and then we went and sat down, and maybe 45 minutes into it, we had to go, and then a little bit later he had to go again, so we had to get up twice during the movie and go.
Yeah.
Luckily
kids don't have that bladder.
Yeah, luckily we were in that theater that's like, as soon as you walk up that hallway directly in front, so we would just go straight down to the bathroom and straight back. So I didn't miss much either time, and I was able to, context clues, figure out what happened,
Yeah.
But I missed 2 points that I wish I would have got to see. So, I'm definitely going to watch it again.
I don't know what they were doing with Thor.
That's my only gripe about the movie.
Like,
that's my only.
Telling me, like,
that's
no,
apparently that's one of the
reason
things.
it bothered me about is because I really do like Thor.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's really cool,
especially in like
his
Ragnarok
hammer is legendary. You know what I mean? And I think he's really dope. And for them to play him out like that,
I see what they were doing.
Yeah, it was funny.
But
it's like I feel like he should have ended the movie somehow like his old self.
I know, that's what I was hoping.
Whatever they had to do.
I was hoping the same. It's apparently that those is like. That's part of storylines from the comics too.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I don't like the way he was. I didn't either. That's really my only gripe about the whole movie though. That's the only thing that I was just like, man, I just wish they would have done at least like towards the end, do it a little bit different. Like he was like that the whole, I don't know. Yeah, it's still good. It's funny the way it is. It's more played for laughs, which he's been vocal about. He'll continue to play Thor if he can do it with more comedy.
So he's something he wanted.
Yeah, he hasn't been wanting to do a lot of action stuff. Like he wants to do more comedy acting. Because he's a good comedic actor. Ever since like I don't know if his first comedic role. I don't know what first kind of comedic role he played. But if you've noticed, like his last probably 4 or 5 movies, he's been playing more funny parts. Like he's about to be in Men in Black, the new Men in Black movie. Him and Tessa Thompson chick that plays Valkyrie.
Yes.
Avengers, yeah, she's in it too. They're like the 2 main characters, and it's more of like it's Black Men in Black. It's a comedy, it's a space comedy or whatever.
It is Men in Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a spinoff of it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that I'm honestly gonna go see that.
It looks good. Like I watched the trailer the other day, and I thought it.
I think it was before Avengers. We watched it.
Before Avengers.
I believe so. Yeah, there was a lot of trailers.
Yeah,
I couldn't really remember all of them.
Yeah, dude, I thought we were gonna get there early and get a good seat, and our movie started at 7:15. We got there at 6:45. Parked, went in, got in line, got a snack.
Oh, bro, I wouldn't have even. I probably would have somehow not even had a seat. Had my girlfriend and my buddy and I gotten in there before me.
Yeah.
Like they literally saved my seat. And I mean, our movie started at 7. I got there at 6:40, and the whole entire theater was packed already.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was going to say, by the time I
stood
in line and got the snacks and stuff, I walked in the theater at like 7 o'clock, and those theaters had the little walkway with the rail or whatever.
Yep.
From there up was packed. I had to sit on the road just past that rail.
No.
So I was 4 rows back from the screen, which is not as bad as it like used to.
We were 3 rows back from the screen.
We were
in front. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we were in front of where you were sitting.
Damn.
We were close.
Yeah, so, used to, when you sit that far, or when you sit that close to the screen, you couldn't see the whole thing. I guess they've changed them.
It's a little bit better.
Or maybe that was the old theater that we had when we were kids,
It's not as bad.
But I felt like at the 4th row, I could see the whole screen without having to look side to side and see what's going on. Yeah. It just like, when you're looking, you're kind of looking up, so my neck started to hurt towards the end, But I'd love to go back and see it again in theaters before it goes out. But
I really would, but
I can't.
It's one of those movies I'm definitely going to purchase when it comes
Oh,
out.
for sure.
Like, I'm definitely going to cop.
Yeah, there's no way I could get Maddox to sit through it again for 3 hours, so I'm probably just going to have to wait, He loved it, but it's just too long for a 5-year-old.
Well, it's just something, if y'all are chilling, you could just throw on. And if he gets bored of it, it's fun.
I saw a thing yesterday. Disney's going to release an Infinity Saga set, all 22 movies.
Oh, that's probably going to be like $500.
I think it's going to be cheaper than that.
It'll probably be like
only because, I figure it's probably going to be like $200. $150, $200. Just because they got to make it somewhat affordable for regular people. Like, everybody can't go out and drop $500 on that kind of thing.
No.
And if you went through and added up, $25 per Blu-ray for 22 movies, that's going to be like close to $500.
Yeah, exactly.
But, there's no way that regular people can do that. And their movies go on sale all the time anyway, So I figure it's going to be more like around $200.
They're going to make it.
Which is it's well worth it for that. For all those movies, I'm buying it. Like, I'm going to buy it the day it comes out.
Yeah, just so I have.
I don't care what it costs. If it's $500,
just think, bro.
We might have to talk about something. But
one day, it might be worth like a lot of money.
Yeah,
like literally something like that.
Yeah,
it'd be dope.
I want to have this for when Max gets. He hasn't seen every movie. I can't. He's just now getting to the age where he can sit through a whole movie without really wandering off. So there's a lot of those movies I want to show him. So it'd be cool to have them all. And we can just sit down and watch them one by one. Yeah. Watch every movie in the order that that you're supposed to watch him in, and then get because he loves the stuff. But like I said, he's just now getting to the age where he can sit there for the whole time.
Yeah, as he gets older, that'll be something you can hold on to and be like, watch these. These are amazing.
Yeah,
you can watch all of them.
Yeah,
it'd be a good movie to pass down to him
for sure. Yeah, it was a great movie though. I definitely recommend it to anybody who hasn't seen it yet or whatever.
Yeah.
It is well worth the watch.
Yeah, 100%. That's 100% the best movie I've seen this year, for sure. Yeah. Probably in the past year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that might be my favorite movie of all time. Not necessarily that it's the best movie of all time, but
it's the best. It
might be my favorite just because of everything that they did and everything that happened and I don't know, everything, just everything.
How it ties in.
Because
really amazing.
Even Infinity War was in my top couple of movies of all time.
Me too.
I'm not a movie snob. I watch a little bit of everything.
And see, I love Marvel and DC.
Yeah,
I love both those universes. Yeah. So I'm down for a big movie from both of them. I want to see some big stuff from DC.
DC's they're starting to do it, man. With Aquaman's already made $1 billion. Yeah. Justice League didn't do as well as they hoped, I think, but they're kind of redoing it now. So everything after Justice League has been pretty successul.
Yeah, I think DC will start doing a lot better.
Yeah,
they got Batman.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, I think they're recasting Batman. Ben Affleck's not going to do it anymore. They're recasting they're going to go for a younger version.
Christian Bale, that's my favorite.
They're going to go for an even younger version of Batman now. Apparently, that's what I was reading. So that might be kind of cool. We haven't really seen a young Batman.
Do like some what did they do with Spider-Man? He looked totally different. Like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is the best. And they started getting all. I do 100%.
See, I like the current Spider-Man better because
I like the one that's in Avengers.
Yeah,
he's pretty cool. But the one there was one that before him trash.
Yeah,
I didn't like him.
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. He was cool growing up, but when you think back on it, he was playing a high school kid and he was 35 years old. And Spider-Man was supposed to be 15 in the comics. He's supposed to be a kid.
He's supposed to be
so the dude now playing him still. He's 20 or something like that. But
he
looks
just like the Tobey Maguire one. Just it was almost its own story.
Yeah.
Even though it was portraying other stories from the comics, it's almost like they didn't follow everything perfectly. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they made him grown.
Yeah.
It was kind of.
I just wish if they would have done that, they would have just made him grown. He could have been out of high school already.
Yeah.
Or in college, or maybe even out of college. He could have just been a grown version of Spider-Man, but they made him. He was old, man. I don't know if he was 35, but he was late 20s playing the high school kid. It's so weird, but that was a part of our childhood. That was a staple of our childhood. Those movies. I've probably no lie. I've probably seen those movies 10 times a piece. Back in the day. Too. I haven't seen them in a long time.
Every time I see the original Spider-Man's on, I'll be watching them on TV.
Yeah, Maddox has seen a couple of them. I have a couple of them on DVD that I bought just because he likes Spider-Man.
Yeah. I love all those superheroes.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen Into the Spider-Verse yet, but that's a really good movie too.
Are you talking about
the cartoon one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I watched all that.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's such a good movie.
I really want those freaking Jordans he wears in there, bro.
Dude, I got the original Chicago ones.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't have the...
What's the difference?
Well, in the movie, he's wearing original Chicago ones, but Jordan made a specific...
one for that
Spider-Man movie. Jordan 1. Yeah, it's different. It's got a blue, ice blue bottom, And they changed up the texture of it a little bit to be more like a spider suit. You know,
Yeah.
they're badass. But if you didn't catch them when they resale on them, it's kind of crazy.
$1,200,
like $500,
or something crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy.
Yeah,
prices.
I mean, I'm sure there's some out there for crazy prices. You can get them for around $500 though, which is, I mean,
it's not too bad for her.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah.
I'm a sneakerhead, but I ain't trying to pay
shoes.
that. Yeah. If I don't know if they'll do a re-release on them at some point. If they do, I'm gonna try and get them.
Yeah.
Or I may just try to wait until I can find a pair cheaper. You know, they would be cool to have just for what they are. You know what I mean? Just for
exactly.
Just you know.
Heck yeah, dude! I'd wear the crap out of those.
Yeah.
Well, guess you want to get into a little MMA?
Yeah, dude.
We got a little breaking news, huh?
Yeah.
We got to be the first podcast to talk about this.
It's possible, man. Unless somebody jumped on there just for this.
we just so happen to be recording tonight, and turns out Brock Lesnar is retiring from MMA and will not be fighting DC ever.
Yeah.
No, everybody can let that go now, please. Thank you.
Apparently, Dana finally heard from Brock, and his words were that he's deciding to retire. He doesn't want to fight anymore.
I'm not mad about it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Brock's cool. Yeah, he's a money fight, whatever. But I'm just not a big fan of Brock Lesnar. I've never really liked him that much.
Yeah.
He's kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
He's juiced up, and I mean,
he just kind of brought the whole professional wrestling attitude into MMA, with the shit talking and all that. He just kind of played that persona all the time, like he was still in WWE. And back then, when he was coming over and doing that, it was like nobody was really doing that then.
Not at all.
So it was kind of it was different, But he's a talented dude. I mean, obviously he's got skills, just to have played football professionally. And then, high level wrestler.
How genetically huge he is, bro. Yeah. I mean, it's not like a secret how athletic he is for sure. I mean, you've seen him slam plenty of dudes.
Like, yeah, for sure.
Even in WWE, it takes a lot of stamina, a lot of strength to do all that stuff they do. He's obviously
it's
a monster,
definitely
but
physically.
I mean, I can't help but wish that he would have came out a little bit earlier and let us know. Like, why keep everybody waiting this long? Yeah. DC could have already fought by now.
Yeah, especially DC. Like he's been wanting this fight for who knows how long.
Retire already, and now you're screwing him over.
And he wanted that fight because he was trying to make that dough.
Yeah, DC deserves that, and I mean, and it looks like we got what was that?
Yeah, we finally get to see DC
Stipe
too,
Stipe.
which I've been wanting since they fought the first time.
I think
pretty much
Stipe has deserved it the whole time.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's just been sitting back there waiting on it, which with. The only thing is, I mean, DC's argument's pretty good. I mean, he did put him down pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but still, being that Stipe defended the title so well and is that prestigious that he he has the most heavyweight
most
title
successful
defenses.
ever.
He's the most successful heavyweight
in the history of MMA. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy in itself. Just to think in the history of the UFC, he is the most successful ever to be champion heavyweight.
And he could have. I mean, he could have just been having a bad night. Yeah, it could have been one.
Well, he could have just got caught. That's what I was saying before. Like, and they're in a clinch. In heavyweight, it's a game of inches. Those guys are punching so hard. They're all strong. They can all knock somebody out if they catch them right. There's nobody in heavyweight that can't knock somebody else out. You know what I mean? Yep. All they have to do is catch them just right. And that's all it was. He got caught with an elbow and got dropped.
Yep.
Any other way, that fight could have. If he could have missed that, he might have beat DC that night. Who knows?
Yeah, it could have.
I think he deserves to get to prove it.
Yep.
DC might beat him again. DC's undefeated at heavyweight. DC might go in there and beat him again, but at least we get to know. At least we get to know
who's truly better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, that's just. I mean, if DC, I'm not gonna say DC has to prove himself again, but now that DC's not getting a Brock fight, I mean, what does he have to lose now at this point? You know what I mean? He's gonna retire soon anyway. He needs that Jones fight now.
Yeah.
He needs this fight with Stipe to do decent. He needs to beat Stipe, and then he needs to fight John Jones at heavyweight for the title.
That should be his going out party.
Exactly. And if he wins, dope, retire. But even if he loses, I'm cool with him retiring.
When we talked about this a few episodes ago about Brock and everything, I told you I had a feeling it wasn't ever going to happen. I just didn't feel like Brock was ever going to come back, or the Brock and DC fight just wasn't going to happen. I feel like if it was going to happen, it would have been more, I don't know. I feel like Brock would have made a point to try to get back into it, And maybe he just didn't want to go get clean. You know?
I'm trying to roid up.
Yeah, he's
bro.
like, I want to stay juiced. If I can't come fight juiced, then I don't want to be there.
Yeah, like, this is bull crap.
Yeah.
That USADA, if y'all get the USADA crap out of here, then I'll fight.
Yeah, because
that's
you know,
what Brock is thinking.
They posted him in the USADA testing pool like a while back, and then like almost immediately removed him. Right away. They're like, oh shit, he's not gonna pass. We need to
oh my god,
get clean, and then we'll put you in here. And then he's like, nah, I'm gonna retire. I'm cool.
You saw the undisclosed information.
Yeah.
Like, Brock, we found 37 substances in you.
Yeah. Unless, I mean,
steroids.
maybe WWE just didn't want him to go. Maybe they offered him more money to stay there. I don't know if he's retiring from there too. You know,
I mean,
it just says he's retiring. It doesn't say it's just
wrestling at all. Yeah,
he may still do wrestling for a while. You know.
I mean,
those guys do it until they're like
money.
50 years old anyway, you know? Like the Undertaker's still doing the damn thing. He's like, he's
a
a grandpa.
Shit, Steve Austin will come sometimes.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah, I mean,
I'm happy for DC though. I'm glad he finally gets a fight. It looks like we're going to see it in August. Yeah, on August 17th, I think. So it'll be nice to see him fight again.
The more time that goes by, the closer he's getting the heck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see him fight.
Yeah, and when somebody who's already ready to retire, you don't want him to start, looking too much into the retirement.
You don't want him to dread what
and you
he's
don't
doing.
want him to focus on, or not focus on what they're doing now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want him to still love what he's doing.
Let him fully be in what he's in now, and then retirement comes when he's ready to be done.
For sure.
If you give him all this time off and he starts looking at what he might be doing in the future, and he's not focused on MMA 100%, then he goes out on a loss, or gets starched in the first round or something crazy like that. I don't want to see that. I want him to go in and have a good last couple fights,
Yeah, I want to see, I love DC. DC's one of my favorite fighters, so I'd love to see him. I mean, I'd love to see him go out like that. I'd love to see him win.
It'd be if he doesn't get the John fight, who else would you want to see him fight after?
Bro, if he beats Stipe, I mean, if John doesn't take that fight, he's an idiot.
I mean, I think John would.
If John really wants to prove himself, take that fight.
I think that'll happen, but if for some reason UFC can't make that happen, who else would there be? I mean, JDS?
Maybe. I mean, who's JDS fight next?
I don't know who he's fighting next. He just fought.
Yeah, he just beat.
Was it Derek Lewis? Was that his last one, or was there one after that?
No, he had one more, didn't he?
I think he had one more.
Or no, he's about to fight, bro. I'm pretty sure.
Is it? I don't even know. I thought it. I know he just fought.
What card JDS is on?
We'll figure it out. Oh, he fought Francis. Or he's fighting Francis. He fought Derek Lewis last. He's fighting Francis next at the International Fight Week card.
We're really gonna see what Ngannou's about.
Yeah.
God,
I think that's a number one contender fight right there.
Yeah, I mean, JDS is a legend.
Yeah.
I mean, already, And it doesn't look like his age is getting to him, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's taking care of himself, unlike Kane, obviously.
I think he wants to keep fighting too. I think he's happy.
Yeah, he's doing good,
especially with his last couple wins.
I mean, he put down Derek Lewis. That's no easy task.
Yeah.
I mean, Ngannou though.
That's a fun fight.
But that's what's weird to me. Derek Lewis is beating Ngannou, so it's like.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
though.
It's different. It is different.
If they fought again now,
been on a tear as well.
Yeah, if they fought again now that Ngannou's got his confidence back, I think it'd go differently.
Yeah.
And I love Derek Lewis. It's just that power and the pressure he can put on. I don't know if Derek Lewis would be able to take that.
Yeah, and Ngannou's not been on a tear, so it's like, anything could happen in this fight. I'm really excited for that. Ngannou's got that one punch that you're just done,
Yeah.
So, but JDS is super technical
wrestling,
and his wrestling.
That was the problem that Francis had with Stipe was the wrestling.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, JDS kind of threw Derek Lewis around.
Yeah.
It wasn't a problem for him.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Lewis almost caught him a couple times.
He tried.
Them bombs.
I respect the hell out of him for trying the way he did. He was hurt and he's just trying to. He's like, if I can land one, I know I can end it. And he almost did. He almost landed him, or he landed that one. Then knocked.
JDS crippled him a little bit with that body kick, and he went down. Acted like he was. I mean, he was hurt, but he went down.
He played it off a little more. I think.
He threw a bomb. Almost caught him, but
that first one,
JDS was too quick.
Lifted JDS off the ground. He hit him so hard.
Yeah, Derek Lewis has got monster hands. He's got the Hulks. But JDS and Ngannou, that's a good fight.
Yeah,
I'm ready to see that
one
for sure.
I think that if for some reason John doesn't fight DC, I think the winner of Francis JDS should get that next title shot.
Yeah,
assuming DC beats Stipe,
I do believe that. I do believe they deserve it too.
Yeah.
I mean, Ngannou and Derek Lewis.
They're both there. I mean, like, who else deserves it more? You can't say Overeem.
No.
Even though Overeem's up there. I mean, Overeem got knocked out by Francis in the first round.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know who else. Kane got knocked out in the first round. Who else do we have at heavyweight that's right there, you know?
I don't know, man. Ngannou's tearing up. I mean, it's like he's doing it quick, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's not having long, drawn-out battles.
That's good for him.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have the cardio to go for 5 rounds.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to be in great shape because, I mean, dude probably has no CT damage yet. I mean...
Yeah, he hasn't really taken much. I mean, we don't know what he did before UFC, you know.
Yeah, true. But, I mean, he hasn't actually been even training that long.
Like 6 years or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Something.
Yeah,
you know, his dad was like his dad was a boxer in Africa. Or,
really?
Yeah, he was like a...
Oh, so that's where he found the hands.
I guess that's where...
His dad's been teaching him his whole life.
I guess that's what made him get into it, you know.
Yep.
But
heck, over there, man, I mean, especially, I mean, I don't know where he... like came from exactly, but I mean it's tough over there.
Yeah, he's from Nigeria, but I don't know exactly what part.
Yeah, what part?
Somewhere
of Nigeria.
there.
Yeah, I think he grew up pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a tough dude.
Yeah, he worked in like
him.
Yeah, he's cool. He worked in like some kind of a sand mine thing where he
and he threw sandbags all day.
Yeah, he just lifted sandbags all the time. So that's how he got his physique.
Yeah, no wonder he's so shredded, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine
working outside in the
day,
sun,
like,
just throwing sandbags all day long.
Shredded.
Then just decide he wants to start fighting and goes on a tear at the
the
very beginning.
I'm not mad about it either because he is so nice. You know what I mean? Like he'll tear
dudes
like down
cool
and then like he'll pick them right back up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
This past card though, man.
Dude,
we got to talk about that.
We had some good fights on Saturday.
Some killer fights, man. I really enjoyed that card. Even though I didn't get to sit down and watch it, I really enjoyed it. Just listening to it, man, and watching it occasionally. I really, really enjoyed that card.
Yeah.
It's a sick matchup.
So UFC Fight Night 150. Prelims. Andre Arlovsky fought that Augusto Sakai dude. It was a decision. Andre lost. I have heard where people thought that Andre Arlovsky won that fight. I didn't get to see that one.
I didn't
make it to
listen to that one.
Yeah,
but from what I could tell from the way they were calling the fight, it's pretty even.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if they scored it though. What did they score it?
It didn't have the.
Oh,
it doesn't have the scores on here. It just says third round
Just
decision.
the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was close. It seemed like, but it seemed like he had the upper hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one I didn't get to see.
That's what you just can't tell sometimes.
Yeah. And then Ben Saunders' second round TKO loss to that Takashi Sato guy.
Takashi 6'9" knocked him out.
Yeah, dude.
That's so funny. I said that last episode, Takashi 6'9", and then the next day they were doing the press conference for UFC, and Tyron Woodley said that on the. He said it live. He was like, "Not to be confused with the Takashi 6'9", and I was like, "I said that first." That's funny.
And then
Takashi. I mean, he put a whooping on him, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was a good fight.
And then on the main card, the first fight was Roosevelt Roberts and Thomas Gifford. I listened to this one. That Thomas Gifford dude's from Arkansas. Somewhere in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where.
He's from
northeast Arkansas or something.
Oh, where did I remember seeing the town whenever I was watching the fight. Like it tells you where they're from or whatever. I can't remember what city it was though.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Arkansas though, close to us, I think.
Roosevelt Roberts guy just kind of pretty much outclassed him for 3 rounds and got the decision win.
Yeah, it wasn't very close.
Yeah, it wasn't a super close fight. I mean, that dude was trying. He was in there going to war, trying to get something done.
Grinding, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't very close from what I could tell.
Roosevelt Roberts guy's he's undefeated still.
What's his record?
He's 8-0.
Oh man.
He hadn't fought a lot of big names yet, but you know.
Yeah.
He looked pretty good
from these upcoming dudes though.
Yeah.
That excites me more. I mean, I obviously love seeing the highest caliber of it go at it, but I also love seeing these dudes who are slowly coming up. They'll run through one class of guys, and then the next thing you know, they're fighting a higher class of guys. And then
it's always fun when they move up into like the bottom of the best guys. You know what I mean? That bottom level of the last level of guys that they're going to be fighting. You know what I mean? It's always fun to see them go from like that middle tier fighter to like the lower upper tier. You know what I mean? Like
there's a big difference, bro. There's levels.
That's when you really get to see what they're made of. Those are the most fun fights to watch for me. You know what I mean? I just loved it, especially like if they're really just that good and they come out and they're beating some of the better guys. You know, and they're surprising everybody. A bunch of underdogs. You know, those are fun to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see all these upcoming guys because there's a lot. There's a lot right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, UFC has signed mad people. In the Contender Series, there's so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some crazy fights in that. Some really good upcoming guys. Khalil Roundtree's looking good. I mean, a lot of guys that haven't been fighting super long are really starting to look good,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm excited. A lot of good fighting coming up.
And after that, they had John Lineker, Corey Sandhagen.
Man,
Third round
a
decision
lot of people
for
were
Corey.
Complaining about that fight. A little fact about Lineker: he hasn't been finished ever. He's never been knocked out in the UFC, and the last 7 years he's never been finished. It's all went to decision. His fights, and this one did as well, didn't it?
Yeah, third round decision.
Yeah,
I actually had Corey winning that fight.
I think too. A lot of people were hating online about it, from what I could tell, but Sandhagen put way more significant strikes down on him. He really, and when you're watching on ESPN Plus, they give you a live breakdown of their body, where they're taking hits, and Lineker, his head was red, dark red. And Sandhagen never ran out of cardio. Like, he was solid that whole fight. I was impressed by him.
The way he mixed it up, and he was putting together combinations from different angles constantly. He was constantly moving. He's over here, he's over there.
Well, it's that switch stance fighting. I mean, Lineker's more like orthodox, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Sandhagen is just piecing together these crazy combos and just putting on steady pressure the whole time. And, Lineker was hitting with some pretty good shots, but, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And Sandhagen was just... I don't know how he makes 135. That kid is 5'11".
He's tall.
5'11", and he makes 135.
How's that even possible?
I don't know, dude.
I mean, he's skinny.
Yeah, he is really skinny.
He's skinny. I mean, Lineker was 5'3".
Yeah, it was a crazy, to see them in front of each other fighting.
He's taller than your opponent. That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
You don't see that very often.
It was a fun fight, though.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Sandhagen did really good getting that decision.
Mm-hmm.
I think he deserved it.
And then Glover Teixeira and... how'd they say it? Iwan Kuchelaba.
I couldn't say his last name.
It looks like Ion, but it's Iwan, I think. Iwan Kuchelaba.
Well, we don't want to butcher it.
Yeah. Either way, Glover got the second round submission. Dude, Kuchelaba was kind of putting it on him for a while.
He was.
He was winning that.
He Russian? Or is he...
Don't give me the line, man. I don't even know.
I ain't even sure. I can't remember. He's Russian or something like that.
Ukraine or something. I don't know.
I can't remember. But he was putting it on him. He was putting it on him. But
he was really winning that fight for a while, and he had Glover rocked, and I thought it was going to be over. I think he was in the first round.
Glover's tough,
dude. He just took it.
How many fights does he have? He has what?
Glover's got 36.
36 fights in the UFC. Yeah, he's fought a lot.
Yeah,
he's been around. Or 36 total fights. Not all. I don't think they're all in the UFC.
Yeah,
but I mean, he's been in the game for a long time. I felt like Glover was winning most of the fight.
Yeah.
But because the way he was fighting, he was putting down more significant strikes.
Yeah.
It seemed like to me, and I don't
just
know.
Damage,
he was fighting a little bit more technical. Yeah.
Yeah, damage wise, Kuchelaba had him rocked a couple times, and
that dude had. I mean, he had a really big power punch.
Yeah, but that second round, Glover was able to get the submission, get the win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's good to see. Yeah. Oh, he's really good on the ground. And, he's happy to be where he's at, and I think he just wants to keep fighting. He didn't really go in there and call out, he called out a guy he had previously lost to, which I thought was kind of cool.
I always love
rather than just calling for, everybody wants to call out the champ,
Yeah.
He's just like, no, I lost to this dude. I want to fight him again because I feel like I had a bad night. He called out Corey Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a cool move on my, I think, for him to call out somebody he lost to and avenge a loss rather than try to say, well, I want to fight
Corey.
him.
They're heavyweight, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Corey Anderson, I think it was Rogan's podcast he was just on.
No, they're light heavyweight.
That's why I meant light heavyweight, because they were talking about John Jones. He was on Rogan's podcast. He seemed like a really cool guy.
Yeah, Corey Anderson. Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet, but I saw it on there the other day.
Cool. Yeah, you need to listen to that.
I remember him and John fought a while back.
No, they haven't fought.
Him and John haven't fought?
They've never fought. He says it on the podcast.
Who did he fight?
I can't remember. He says it on. He actually said it. I can't remember who he fought.
Okay.
I ain't no telling.
I thought he and John had fought. He fought. somebody.
No, because he had talked about how like he's like I gotta beat John Jones to be the best.
Oh yeah.
Or he's like the only reason I'm in the UFC. He's like I could go get my sponsors from Bellator. I could go to ONE FC, and maybe
Probably
be treated even better.
Yeah,
get paid more. But I want to be the best. He's like, so whatever I got to do, just keep handing me guys. I'm gonna climb to the top. And
what's his record?
Corey.
Yeah.
Corey was 16-12.
16-12. Ooh.
Not the best.
It's a little salty.
Yeah, it's not the best. I mean, no. I'm an idiot. I'm at 12-4.
Oh, okay.
I was reading.
Okay.
I was reading it wrong.
That's not bad.
Well, it says 16. I looked at wins and losses, and they had everything highlighted, but I read 16 wins, 12 losses. When it's 12 wins, 4 losses. He has 16 total.
It's 16 total.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I was about to say, I knew it
I was
wasn't
going to say
that bad.
16-12.
I was about to say, he hasn't even been fighting that long, bro.
Yeah.
He has not been fighting that long at all. Like, he just started fighting, I think it was, 2013, I think.
Really?
He said on the podcast, if I remember right. He hasn't been fighting that long either.
Huh.
He hasn't been in the MMA game that long. I mean, that's why he hasn't had that many fights. But 12-4 is not bad. He's lost to some pretty prestigious guys.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't had just any terrible losses.
All right.
But I'm eager to see him fight some more. And being that him called him out, I think that'd be a good fight.
Yeah. I'd like to see him fight again.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Corey basically said on the podcast. He was like, I mean, I'm just going to, hand me the next guy. Whoever's next, I'm going. Let's go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he beat...
I like him, though, so, I'd like to see him win.
Yeah. He beat Glover by decision first fight.
Who, Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be another fight, I guess, for them.
Well, after that, Mike Perry, Alex Oliveira.
Platinum Mike Perry.
Dude.
The dude's a savage.
Yeah. That was a really fun fight.
I love him, bro. He's entertaining. He's just funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though he's crazy.
I think that was fight of the night, too.
Really?
I think they got fight of the night bonus on that. Because when they do that, I watched the...
I mean, it was a battle.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it was back and forth, but Perry was just... He was landing way more significant strikes.
Way more.
And
they were both bloodied up,
yeah.
though. I mean, it was a good fight. I actually had to stop a couple times while I was in the middle of working to watch that fight just because...
I think Alex started kind of gassing out towards the 4th, 5th round. You know?
Yeah.
He was kind of getting tired, and he couldn't really put anything together. Mike was just pressuring him.
Cardio. He's got the cardio, and he's just a savage.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, man. He's in there to have fun. Like you said, I don't know if you saw the beginning when they're walking out, but Cowboy Oliveira dances all the way to the ring.
Yeah.
Like that's his thing.
Yeah.
Like that's how he gets in the mood to fight or whatever. He wears headphones and he just dances the whole time. So while he's dancing to the ring, they pan over to Mike Perry. Mike Perry's in the ring dancing too to the same song that Oliveira's walking out to.
He makes it fun.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I like that you can be getting ready to go to war with somebody and you can be so, you love fighting so much that you're just like, whatever, I'm happy, let's dance, I'm excited, I'm hyped up, ready to go. Like, I love watching fighters like that. That's why Mike Perry's really entertaining to me.
Mike got to the third round, or decision. I want to say third round. He got the decision win and then called out Darren Till.
Yep. Darren Till, you're going to have to calm down on the taxi stealing and the hotel destroying and then come fight.
Yeah, for real. That's a fun fight.
That is a fun fight because they're both wild. They're both like wild boys, so...
Yeah, they both got good power, too. It'll be fun to see who knocks out who. That one probably doesn't make it to decision.
First round, boom.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was cool.
I don't know. Darren Till's tough. That's a good fight.
Yeah, that's a fun fight for sure. I think they ran their mouths back and forth a little bit.
But at the same time, I almost don't want to see either of them lose, but it's got to happen.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fun fights for Mike at welterweight. If he's, as long as he stays there.
Yeah, he's got to be consistent though, I think.
Yeah.
So that's how, I mean, with him, I think he's the type of guy, if he stays consistent, he's just going to get better and better. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need any long off time.
Yeah, this was a good,
he needs to get right back in there.
Yeah. This was a good follow-up to his last fight being a loss the way it was.
He lost to a legend, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I give him a break on that.
Yeah,
he's still pretty young as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's 27.
Yeah, he's got a while.
Yeah,
he's got plenty of time to get it figured out.
For sure. And then co-main event, Greg Hardy, Dmitry Smolkov.
Greg Hardy. Dude, I just can't like him.
Yeah.
I mean, you like him?
I'm not a fan.
Is he your favorite fighter?
No.
I mean, not to mention what he said, bro, in this press conference. He said, literally, I heard it live, too. He said, I'm the fight sports version of what Michael Jordan could be in the UFC.
Oh, my God. Didn't he compare himself to Bo Jackson, too?
To Michael Jordan.
I saw somewhere where he compared himself to Bo Jackson.
Are you kidding me, bro? You're not even like an elite level MMA fighter.
I almost want to see him toss into
somebody.
somebody.
Obviously bullied a dude. Speaking of that, we got to talk about Dana White.
Yeah.
You know, you went in there and bullied some dude who obviously was a scrub to, you know, he was probably the weakest dude on the UFC roster that they gave you, knowing that they wanted you to just get a win because you're a big name and they want to set this storyline up for you. The UFC's not stupid. They're trying to give this guy, you know, they're trying to make him a storyline because he does have so much publicity, because so many people either hate or like him, one or the other, you know. I don't like that, though. You know, I kind of want to see him get knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I literally don't think this dude threw a single punch.
Yeah, that didn't even look like the dude touched him.
I don't think he.
No,
I don't even think he attempted.
I kept my eyes on that one because wasn't it a first round finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was putting pressure on that guy the whole time. The guy wasn't even barely defending himself, and he just beats the guy to the ground, and the fight's over. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg Hardy. Give this guy a real fight. Give him Derek Lewis
right now.
Give him Derek Lewis tomorrow.
Yeah.
Give Greg Hardy Derek Lewis tomorrow, and that dude's on his knees begging for him to get off of him and quit crushing him. Derek Lewis is going to smash that guy.
I would love to see that fight. I'd almost love to see them give him somebody like really high level wrestler.
Randomly gives him DC
Steve
right now.
Yeah, or DC.
Greg Hardy DC right now. Let's go.
Oh man, I want to see a fight like that when he can't just rely on trying to knock somebody
Greg
out.
Hardy goes in there like, who is this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's DC. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a first round finish. For sure.
Yeah, I don't know what his cardio would look like in late rounds. You know what I mean?
5-round fight.
I don't know how good his cardio. I mean, he did play professional football, so he may have pretty good cardio.
I don't want to be a huge hater on him, you know, but just when it comes to domestic violence, I get really pissed off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that. But, you know, I can give him a break, you know, if he actually means the stuff he's saying and like actually wants to be like a good dude. But it's just like, you're saying stuff like you said at this press conference, like you're the Michael Jordan. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
You have no room to ever say anything like that right now.
Yeah.
Like, you are not humble at all right now.
So what
like, if you want people to respect you and give you forgiveness for what you've done in the past, be humble. Don't be cocky, because that's getting you nowhere. I promise you.
What did Dana White say?
Oh, Dana White said he wants to see the 9 guys. What was it, 9 guys?
Yeah,
that,
he's like
Greg Hardy fought in that fight because it was way too easy for him to win. Like, okay, Dana, let's pretend you didn't know about that.
Yeah, the Dimitri guy's record's 9-2 or 9-3 now, and Dana's like, oh, I don't know how he beat 9 guys. I'd like to see the guys that he beat. He's like, you might all be in this room for all I know. And
Dana, well, you're the president, so what does that say about you, bro?
You should know a little more about it, I guess.
Yeah, give me a break.
I mean, he even said in the same press conference, he said, me and my guys make these fights. He was talking about something else at the time, but he's like, me and my guys set these fights up. So if that's the case, then
you set up the fight with a scrub.
Yeah, you just said that. I mean, you should know
Come on, Dana.
This guy's record and who he's fought when you're putting him in a fight against somebody. You know.
Dana's not helping himself, and he always contradicts himself. It makes no sense.
And then main event, Jacare and Jack Hermanson.
Oh man,
that was a good fight.
Jack Hermanson is a savage.
Yeah,
I knew how tough he was. I've watched 3 or 4 of his fights. I knew how tough he was going in that fight. I mean, he is just absolutely mauling people on the ground. His ground and pound has been savage.
Yeah, his ground and pound is nasty.
You know, but I called Jacare to win last podcast, and I had faith in Jacare to win. It ended up being a really good fight. Yeah. Jacare is like straight up. I mean, the dude's 38 years old or 40. I mean, and he's still going at it. And he even said after the fight, he's like, I'm gonna keep going. I'm still want to fight. You know, I'm not ready to retire yet. Let's keep it rolling. You know, that's really what he was shooting for, with that title shot. And I hate that he didn't get it.
Yeah, it sucks that this was his.
But at the same time, Jack is a savage. You know, and I mean, you can't deny what he did. I mean, he still went in there and did what he had to do to win, and he deserves another good fight. And if he can keep winning, he's going to be the one up there at the title.
Yeah, this was one that I had a feeling Jack was going to get it done. I didn't know how. I could have seen like a late finish maybe, or decision. I didn't think it'd be anything early, but he did catch Jacare in that arming guillotine that he's finished a couple guys with, like first or second round.
It's close.
Yeah, but Jacare just
Jacare's been
just a legend. He just stayed calm and did what he needed to do.
What Jacare said before that fight, he was like, I've been training with the best. I mean, there's nothing he can do that I haven't seen.
Yeah, his jiu-jitsu.
That's one thing. Maybe it's true. There's probably nothing you haven't seen in there, but he's going to put his hands on you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jacare's jiu-jitsu is so high level, like,
Very.
you know. I was surprised when he got caught in that, and really it's just because he was trying to take him down, and Jack just caught his head and locked in a guillotine.
Yeah,
and
it didn't work out well.
It was in there good. He had a good grip, but Jacare just did the right things, you know, like the way Dominic Cruz breaks it down. He says when you're in something like that, you want to put your feet on the ground and raise your butt up above your head, and then you can still breathe, even if it's tight, you know. It's cutting off blood circulation, but you can still breathe while you're trying to, you know, fight hands and try to get out. And then you roll your hips to the inside and get your back to the canvas, and as you turn your body, you know, the grip breaks, you know, they can't hold on.
And at least you can breathe and get out of there.
Yeah, so he said he just did all the right things to.
Yeah, Jacare knows what he's doing. He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I hope he has another good fight coming up, and you never know. I mean, he's a tough guy. I could see him going. You know, ended up in the title eventually.
Yeah,
he's that tough.
He was landing some crazy body shots too towards the end of the fight.
Yeah, he hurt Jack.
Yeah, he was hurting Jack for sure. But Jack, I mean, dude, I think the only round that I had Jacare winning was the fourth round. I think it was the fourth round. It might have been the third round. There was one round in there where Jacare kind of took over. I actually think it might have been the third round. He kind of took over and was doing some pretty good damage and stuff. But then he came out the next round and he looked winded. Like he just put so much effort out, and then Jack just took over again and just kind of, you know, just handled him to the end, you know. But
it was a good fight. And,
Jack's pressure is like it's nonstop, man. He doesn't get tired.
His cardio is insane. Well, that's what they said during the fight, bro. They were like, his cardio is very similar to Tony Ferguson.
Yeah,
he has like that Tony Ferguson cardio that. You know, it's almost like he doesn't
Max
need
Holloway
cardio.
too.
He's
It's like
a robot.
It's a constant pressure, constant just throwing shots. And it's long combinations. It's like 10 punch combinations. He puts this chain of punches together, you know, just consistent in all the, you know, he doesn't give up. He doesn't stop. Yeah. He just, you know, he's moving here, he's there. He's just
he's a really orthodox fighter. Like he's just you never know what's going on.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, man. And his ground and pound is. You watch his highlights before, you know, like before this fight. I watched some of his highlights and. His ground and pound is just nasty. He's those guys down. He's
the
just
Joker, Jack Hermansson's freaking ground and pound.
He said in an interview a while back he felt like he has the best ground and pound in the UFC, and I don't know if I want to doubt it too much. I mean, there's some good guys.
Khabib has some nasty ground and pound.
A lot of guys do. I mean, like John Jones, like when he finished Gustafsson, that was nasty.
He looked like he was trying to punch. John's elbows are just brutal.
Yeah,
he'll kill anybody with those.
John looked like he was trying to punch Gustafsson's head through the canvas. I mean,
he was like, I'm establishing my dominance.
Yeah. That was a really good card, man.
I really enjoyed this past card, and we got another good one coming up this next weekend, bro. Yeah. I think it's some good UFC coming up over the next few months.
ESPN Plus is just like, if anybody doesn't have it, what are you doing? Like $6.99 a month, and they're putting these kind of crazy fights on there, and it works every time. There's no... You know, I haven't had a single problem at ESPN Plus on all the fights that we've watched on there.
I haven't either.
You go to it, it loads right up. You can rewatch it later on.
A lot of people said they had trouble with the past pay-per-view, but
that's something different though. I mean, like I didn't try to do it through there. It's a little different that way. But like, you know, what was the last pay-per-view? It's already released on ESPN Plus. You can go in there and watch it now.
Oh, you can.
Max Dustin and 236. It's on there now.
They're both on there, huh?
Yeah, you can go in there. You can go in there and watch the whole fight crazy. For free.
What is it? $5 a month?
For $6.99, I think, or $5.99, something like that. I don't know.
Not bad,
whatever it is, it's affordable.
I mean, we're getting fights like a couple of fights a month, like right now. You know, every other week, every other weekend we're getting a fight. So, or every weekend we're getting a fight sometimes. So. I really like ESPN Plus.
Dude,
we got this upcoming card. Who all we got on that?
It's well worth the money.
We got, at least 3 or 4 really good fights on that card. We got...
Yeah, it's upcoming, it's Fight Night 151. Yeah, Cowboy and Iaquinta is the main event. And Derek Brunson, Elias Theodoro, co-main, Cub Swanson, Shane Burgos, featherweight. Yeah,
that's really probably all the big ones.
Yeah, it's all the big fights. There's a few other fights on there, but that's this Saturday, May 4th.
I'm really excited, bro. First of all, I love watching Cub fight. Cub Swanson's a really entertaining fighter. I always love watching him. And then Derek Brunson, really good wrestling, really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then you got Al Iaquinta, some of the best wrestling in the UFC, probably. The only guy to really go
really
5 rounds with Khabib and
Yeah.
stick around, you know, and be able to handle his wrestling and had really good takedown defense. So I
Yeah,
mean, he's
his
really good.
takedown defense is
But
really
Donald
good.
has done everything. Cowboy's done everything. He's I mean, he's really good jiu-jitsu. He's really good on the ground.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have some counters, and he has pretty good takedown defense.
He
He's
might
also
be.
learned how to strike really well.
Yeah. He, as far as like putting together combinations, he's one of the best that I've ever seen at throwing punches and kicks together. Like he can end the combination with a kick flawlessly. Like he can put together a, 2 or 3 punch combination and end it with a kick.
Yeah.
Like so smooth,
Yeah.
That's how he's.
Cowboy's a legend. There's a reason he's got the most wins.
Yeah.
In UFC. I mean, he's a legend.
How many people has he dropped with head kicks? I mean, like,
He's a savage.
yeah.
And he has been on a tear lately. What is he on, like a 3 or 4 fight win streak, something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, he's ready. He's on the go ever since he left that other coach he had.
Mm-hmm.
He's really been running through them. So I'm excited to watch that fight. I mean, that's just another good one. I mean,
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight.
yeah, Cowboy's a guy to get excited for. I love watching him fight.
I like how Ike went too. He's a tough dude, but
Yeah. I don't know about that fight. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Cowboys 35-11. He's had
Mhm.
so many fights.
Yep. 35-11, 1 no contest. That's
What was that
most
one?
fights. No, he has the most wins and most finishes in UFC history.
Yep.
And with this, he'll tie again for the most fights.
Yep. It's wild. Yeah. Cowboy's a legend. He's definitely going in that Hall of Fame.
Oh, for sure.
I love watching him fight.
He may still go in the Hall of Fame while he's still
be,
fighting.
That's somebody that people should be excited about, though. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
Well,
And
I'm excited for that.
yeah, that'll be good, man. I'm ready to see that.
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple other things wanted to talk about from we had Bellator this past weekend.
Bellator 220.
Yeah,
On Saturday.
Rory McDonald and John Fitch.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that fight?
I don't know. It was a good back and forth fight, but it was weird. It went to a majority decision, which before this I had never heard of. Yeah, that should be majority draw, not majority decision. I'm not sure why I said decision. Just too many thoughts going on at once, I guess. But yeah, majority draw. The judges all scored it, or 2 judges scored it 47-47, and the other judge scored it 48-46. So, to me, when you're looking at that, as far as like the points go and all that, that would mean that John Fitch won because he scored it
because he's the only one who got a
but with
positive
more
score.
points. But apparently, if 2 judges score it a decision, that's what they go by. Because if 2 judges thought it was a decision, this other guy could have had a bias towards John Fitch and put John Fitch up by a point.
I feel like they need. I think 5 judges makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot more
5
sense.
judges makes way more sense because in that situation, especially, okay. I mean, what are the chances that you get 2 judges? I mean, it's got to come out. I mean, what are the chances that you get? I mean, I guess you could get 3 judges that all score it like that, and possibly it's still majority.
It could still happen, but there's less of a chance of it happening.
Yeah, less of a chance, and then. I mean, I feel like it would be hard to make a decision based off just 3 doing that. But that's the thing. Once you got 5, I mean, if 3 roll over 2 in that type of situation, it makes more sense to me than just 2 people overruling one person's opinion.
I like what Joe Rogan said about it, where he thinks that there should be, at least 5 judges, and they should do it from a different location. They shouldn't be cage side because there's too much. You get the reactions from the crowd. The fan noise, you get to see, all the blood and stuff you're seeing up close. It weighs your decision.
Like us.
Yeah, they should sit in a booth somewhere with radios, and they should watch it like we see it on TV because we see it way better than you can see it in person.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to go to the fights and stuff, and it's cool, and I bet the experience is awesome.
Oh yeah.
But you got a cage blocking your view. You can only see it from one angle. You're down eye level with it. When you're watching it on TV, that camera's moving all around. You're seeing all the different angles.
Everything.
You're seeing it up close. You're going to go see in the corners and hear what they say. You know what I mean? You get to hear what the rest says. Like, it's a much better to watch on TV for the fight, not the experience. If you're wanting the experience, go to the fight, whatever. But if you want to see the actual fight and you want to be able to judge it yourself, you need to watch it on TV. And that's how these judges should do. They should have, instant access, instant feed right up to their box wherever they're at. They should watch it, and then they should radio down their scorecards. And I don't think they should all sit together. No. Maybe 5 separate boxes and put them all.
Imagine this. Imagine you have like a. People do it online. Imagine imagine if like people get certified to be like judges.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got to go through. You got to have to know a certain amount about MMA.
Yeah.
You could go through that, and like there could be, you know, a company that runs this
Yeah.
and does the judging online. Imagine that, and then like they have so many judges for each fight. It might be 10 judges. You know what I mean? Like imagine. I think something like that would be a cool idea.
Yeah. The problem with that is it's not these people are supposed to be like certified and stuff. You know, I guess if you're saying that people could get certified.
Yeah, they'd have to go through some type of certification to know how to judge fighting. But that's the thing, bro. These judges now, half of them don't even know what.
Yeah.
What's going
that's
on.
That's why it needs to be ex-fighters or retired fighters. Or
either that or people who, you know.
Because it'd be easy for us to say, like, if we were really big fans of one fighter and we went through this process and we had all the stuff to get certified and then they fight, we'll give him this round even though it was a close round. We'll just give it to him because I like this guy.
What if these judges are doing that though?
They very well could be. We don't know, but you know.
You know, that's what's like.
If it's a bunch of people that have no face that we don't know, you know,
a bunch of people just. It is a little bit riskier. It seems like.
Yeah, that's why I think it needs to be known fighters, retired or whatever, that do this. That way they have, you know, if they call a bad fight, then, you know, we all know who they are.
Right.
That's the biggest problem now with the judges is that like we don't know these people.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who they are. If they make a bad call, they're just like, I'll stay on social media for a while, let it die down. You know, whatever.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
They don't really suffer anything. Like if it's a professional fighter that everybody knows and they make a bad call and everybody knows it's a bad call, they're gonna catch shit for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
I don't know, man. That judging situation, I think there's a lot they need to do there. A lot they need to change.
Yeah,
definitely.
The other that Lima McFarland chick defended her title. That was another controversial.
Was that Bellator, right?
Yeah, Bellator. That was another supposedly controversial win. It was a doctor stoppage. She busted that girl's forehead open, and I mean, I don't know really.
Brutal, bro.
Yeah, dude, the video of it is gruesome. She lands that elbow.
I gotta look it up. I mean, elbow to the.
She lands the elbow, and it looks like
just nasty.
She lands the elbow, and it looks like somebody unzips her forehead, and you just see blood just start pouring out.
She got stabbed in the forehead, bro. It's just disgusting. It's horrible.
It was crazy.
It's the fight game.
Mm-hmm.
We also need to touch on Rory, what he said after that fight.
Yeah.
Rory was like, I feel like I'm just, what did he say? I can't remember what he said exactly in the fight. Do you?
It's something to the effect of. I
don't know if I have that killer instinct.
You get to a point of doing this, and
yeah.
I just don't feel like I have that same killer instinct anymore, and I'm not really sure, you know, about it or whatever. And then he since clarified that he doesn't plan on stopping. He plans on continuing to fight.
All he said, to be clear, I'm not retiring from a professional MMA career. I've always been true and honest in the sport, and I spoke from the heart. Thank you for your support and all the kind messages I've received after this sentimental moment I had for all. Or what do you say? I had for all to see after 14 years of being in the sport.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean,
he's not the same fighter he was back in the Robbie.
What he's basically saying is he's matured as a man. He's matured as a fighter. He's matured as everything.
Yeah, his religion. You know, he's a lot more religious now than he used to be.
Yeah, he's not.
And it's changed a lot of aspects in his life, and you know, he's kind of rethinking some things, but he's still going to do what he's. You know, he still loves it in a way. You know, he may not love to hurt people the way he used to. Like he used to, he would just go in there and go to war. He's not really, you know, interested in that as much.
He's that type of fighter. He's saying that because, like, that's kind of how he started out. Was like he wanted that, like, he had that mentality, like, you know, I got to put this guy down. But now it's like he doesn't want to hurt people.
Yeah.
Like
he's such a nice dude. Like when you hear him talk,
you can tell he has a soft spot too. Yeah. Like he's a good guy. So it's like, you know, it's like you can't be 50-50 though. Yeah. So it's like, you know, I don't fear for him because he is so good.
I've never fought, of course, but like when I think about it from that perspective of going into a UFC fight like that, I feel like it would be hard unless you really hated the person. Yeah. Like if it's somebody like I don't see how those guys go out there and beat the shit out of each other. I get it's competition, but I guess I'm not that competitive because I don't have a desire to go out there and punch my friends in the face. You know what I mean?
Do it. Like a lot of guys are like that. That's just what they like. I mean, a lot of fighters, like, they just love getting there and doing that. Like, it's not the same to them as it would be to people who don't want to fight, you know? I mean, it's just totally different.
Yeah. Vincent Henderson, Adam Piccolotti was on that card, too. That was a decision win for Vincent Henderson.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty good fight. It was back and forth.
There's some decent fights.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. 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 on Bellator.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting this weekend.
What does Bellator have coming up? Oh, do they have one coming up this weekend as well, or is that just or is it just that UFC? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They might.
I don't know if there's a new Bellator or what.
Bellator 221. It's just it'll be in May.
May, yeah, in Birmingham.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, May 4th.
Yeah, Douglas Lima, MVP, and Michael Chandler and Pitbull.
Dude, Douglas Lima MVP. That's gonna be a crazy fight.
Yeah.
There's two very, very high caliber fighters, but
there's some pretty good fights on there.
I just love watching MVP fight.
Yeah.
He's entertaining.
Jack Hager guy.
Oh,
he's fighting again. He's the guy that came from Jack Swagger in the in WWE or whatever. He won his first fight, and he's fighting again. Fighting a guy that's 1-1. But see that he did it right. You know what I mean? Like he was a really good wrestler. He wrestled at Oklahoma. He was a really high level wrestler before going to the WWE, and then he transferred into MMA and started training and stuff like that.
Crazy how many athletes are starting to do that.
But he actually did it right. He didn't just jump straight to a title shot. You know, he's actually starting low and fighting lower level guys. He's not just jumping straight to the top because he had a name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like how they're doing it with him rather than just like the Greg Hardy situation.
That's how it should be, man. It's really how it should be, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else?
Let me see.
Yeah, that's everything I had.
Yeah.
So we talked about the cards coming up. We talked about last weekend.
Mm-hmm. There was one thing I was wanting to talk about.
Brock.
This the thing with the rules, the rule sets being different.
Yeah.
The grounded fighter rule and all that. ESPN posted that ABC, which is the Association of Boxing Commissions, seeks to clarify and unify the grounded fighter rule. The unified rules of mixed martial arts have been anything but unified over the past 2 years. The ABC Rules and Regulations Committee decided Thursday to open up the controversial grounded fighter rule in MMA to discussion. The goal is to eventually have a uniform rule across all jurisdictions. Currently, the definition of a grounded fighter and when it's illegal to kick or knee one in the head varies by state. In commissions such as Nevada, New Jersey, and Texas, the rule states that anything but the soles of a fighter's feet touching the mat means that the fighter is grounded and cannot be kicked or kneed in the head. So they can be one hand down, they're grounded, technically.
Yeah.
Or a knee. I guess you can't have two feet.
Yeah, if somebody's on the ground,
so if their knees down, the hands down, they're considered grounded. But in states such as California, New York, Florida, there's a caveat. A fighter cannot just put a single hand or finger down to become grounded. He or she must put both palms on or both fists on the ground to become grounded, or have another part of his or her body on the mat, such as a knee. So, they would have to have both hands down, or a hand and a knee, or whatever, Which I think that's the better, if you want to be a grounded fighter, you need to have both knees down. Because I've seen guys that when they think they're going to get hit, they put a hand down real quick,
Yeah.
So I think I prefer the rules that California follows.
Yeah, I agree with those a little bit more.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I feel like that's what the fighters like better, too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be just for the safety of the fighters and everything, but, right now it's so confusing.
Well, yeah, it's like you got different rules and different stuff going on in different states, and how do you expect these fighters to remember all those rules? That's why people are slipping up. That's why John slipped up against Anthony Smith, and Anthony Smith almost got could have got a DQ win out of that. But it's they got to figure that out and stop putting these guys at jeopardy because of it.
Mm-hmm. It says the new unified rules were supposed to go into effect across the board January 2017, but some state athletic commissions decided to pass on them. The others were unable to get the changes cleared through the state legislature. The commissions against the new grounded fighter rule definition have cited health concerns. Now there is different rules in different jurisdictions. For example, UFC light heavyweight champion John Jones was nearly disqualified for a foul at UFC 235 last month in Nevada for a knee strike to the head of Anthony Smith. That would have been perfectly legal in California or New York.
Yeah.
Wheelock told ESPN the aim of the new rules, whatever it will be, is to make things uniform and as clear as possible to avoid ongoing confusion. So
yeah, that needs to happen ASAP for sure.
I mean, we've been saying this for a while.
Yeah,
like,
get
it figured out, man. Like there shouldn't be a gray area in rule sets.
No, it's not fair.
Yeah,
not fair for these guys at all.
And confusing for the fighters themselves, going from one spot to another. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
It should have never gotten to this point. A state athletic commission shouldn't be able to say, "No, we're not going to take those rules because we don't like them or whatever." You know.
No, like I think that's really something that got to get figured out within the next. You know, I mean, God, as soon as possible. I mean, there's no reason these guys should be going into fights and having to worry about that type of stuff. You know.
Yeah.
But guess that's it, man.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
I think so, man. I don't think I have anything.
Yeah, we got a good episode in.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of information. I
feel like that went by really quick.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I told you, man. It's a good pod. But if y'all want to contact us, we have the Instagram, Untrained Experts, and Facebook as well.
Untrained Experts at
contact
Gmail.
us on there. I guess that about wraps it up for this week. This is episode 7, Untrained Experts. We'll see you all next week.
Peace.
Peace.